Warning: the following subject matter may be triggering for some as we dive into detail about mental health and its effect on black men. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, please call 1 800 273 8255. Again, that's 1 800 273 8255. Well, hello, my friends. I know it's a little bit different, and don't be alarmed. Don't be too alarmed. I just wanted to make sure you guys all knew that today was going to be a little more serious as we dive into some mental health issues. We're going to talk suicide. We're going to talk depression. We're going to talk PTSD. We're going to basically talk all things mental health as it pertains to not only the world, but specifically black men in America. Let's dive into it, man. So today we have two very special people. You know, one of them from the show We Outside, and the other one is new to the station, a young cat, young blood. He's a videographer. He is a artist. He is a radio personality coming up here soon. This man does a lot of things. The young brother, Zulu. Yeah, man. So I just realized that I did not have the microphones on for the radio side. So those of you on the stream heard all of that, but those of you on the radio didn't. So please, for the people, let them know one more time who you are, Sir Zulu. The Good Time Show. The Good Time Show. You know the music's gonna flow on the Good Time Show.
Quake Station, and I just want to dive deep into these conversations. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Mr. Inspiration X, Mr. Outside.
What up, though?
Tell the people who may not have seen you on We Outside, which airs from 10 to 12 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let them know who you is, man.
93.97 The Network. I'm Mr. Outside. I am one of the hosts for We Outside. We come on every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 12. You can find me on Instagram at King Inspiration X. I am a motivational speaker by day. I slang them snacks by night. So if you need them snacks, or if you even need a motivational tune, just pop into the page.
He says, snack gang, 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 gang.
You, man.
Snack gang, 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 gang. Oh, yeah. Vibe check it out. Vibe check it out.
In the building, so.
Salute.
First of all, you say you sell snacks. So what's your favorite snack, bro? What you grow up on?
What I grew up on?
Yeah, what snacks you grow up on?
See, I don't think the snacks have really changed all that much generationally, though.
I ain't gonna hold you up. I used to be on that candy apple Faygo.
Okay.
I used to mess with the candy apple Faygo.
Ugh.
That and but see, we used to have these green Twizzlers, right?
I think those are still a thing.
The green apple Twizzlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't seen them in a long time.
I believe they're still a thing.
Are they? I used to get them from the beauty supply.
Man, you know a lot of people do licorice diets.
Yeah,
Licorice
That's
diets.
crazy, bro.
What does that even mean?
All the time, bro.
That's all you eat is licorice?
Yeah, I ain't doing it. That's crazy. I mean, me, I grew up. I was like, I like almond joys. I'm weird.
You're probably the first person I ever heard in my life,
Bro, I love almond joys, bro.
You know how Halloween come up, them normally be the first thing on the tray.
Bro, the first ones the
man.
grannies pass out, bro. But like,
It's the little wax paper, black and orange joints. Those.
Oh, the butterscotch joints?
No, not even butterscotch. It's like this little wax. See, that's you might not even know about these. It's a little wax paper.
It's like a taffy. It's really all.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely. It's like the grannies always.
That's different.
The grannies handed that out. So, the reason I know I'm the most sane in this room is neither one of y'all have mentioned the most bomb candies in the world, Reese's.
Okay.
Right?
Too sweet.
Reese's.
Huh?
Too sweet.
Did you say what yours was?
I said almond joy. It's the coconut.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
I still eat Cheetos.
Sometimes you don't.
Chico sticks. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I still eat
I
Cheetos.
don't think I ever.
My boy's fire.
I was never a Chico
Room
stick guy.
temperature too?
Huh?
Room temperature too?
I mean, it's hard. I would put it in the fridge unless you want to take teeth, probably.
Nathaniel Soul says bitter honey.
Oh yeah, bit of honey. That's real old school right there.
I'm not a honey guy either.
That's really just like a piece of honey.
I'm not a honey guy either.
Okay.
Gross. All right. So sweet tooth aside, let's dive in. We got a little bit shorter of a show today, so I want to make sure we take the opportunity to get as deep into this thing as we can, man. So, I'll start y'all off with a couple of stats that shocked me. So, once I decided that this was kind of the way we were going to go with the show today, I went and started, looking at some TikToks, or not TikToks, but TED Talks. Looked up on YouTube and started getting some kind of, some data, I guess you could say, things that I might not have known before.
Professor, what type of research did you find?
Yeah, well, so today I found. Did you know that only 4% of the therapists that specialize in psychiatric health are African American in America?
I 100% can believe that.
I can believe that.
4%.
Right.
In the whole,
in all of America.
That's crazy.
In all of America, there are 4%. So I think that is, I know for me, okay, so let's start by giving you guys some background on, and I guess we can go around and kind of give our background as far as what I really want to know from you two, which I guess I'll ask afterwards, but I'll give you a background of myself and why I guess I'm qualified to speak on mental health issues. So short version of before I went to the military, I was a military brat. I was born in North Carolina. I went from North Carolina to Germany at the age of like 5 or 6, right? So that alone, I think in Caucasian communities and in Caucasian life, they would already lump that in as something that may have caused trauma at that age, right? Being that young, moving to a different country, being uprooted from where they would attribute that to, some mental health issues, typically. But for us, it's not really, they don't really add that in. I guess because a lot of our culture never leaves their neighborhood or never has to move around or gets to, go make that change. But I make that change, go from Germany, go to England, lived in England for a little while. So I really wasn't around many people that look like me from the jump, right? So not only am I disconnected with my skin color and the community back here that I would later be, pushed into, I think I'm like these cats over there. I'm 7, 8 years old or whatever. So imagine I'm there for a year and a half. I abruptly get brought to Michigan for the first time, 8 or 9 years old, and I go straight to Detroit.
Culture shock.
So imagine me going from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Pope Bragg Air Force Base or Army Base, to Germany during when the Berlin Wall was getting broken down. So times of strife, right? Historical times of strife, to England, which is most definitely predominantly, I can't even say white. They're British. Like it's not regular American white. You know what I'm saying?
But when you're in the UK, do the British call you black or do they call you African?
I think these days, and had I been older, because I was still a child,
right?
So I didn't really experience that as much.
That wasn't a thing yet.
It wasn't a thing yet, right? Okay. And honestly, to that point, I had no idea what racism was, what any of that was, because I didn't really experience that over there, or maybe it just wasn't as blatant, so I didn't notice it. But personally, I didn't know what any of that was.
See, from my experience with like dealing with people from overseas, sometimes when they go into the aspects of talking about race and how they see it, it's like if me and my white friend, my Asian friend, but we're American, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we walk, our physicalities to ourselves, they'll call us American in some places. So that's why I asked you that question on, do you think that within the United States that there's more of a culture shock within not like culture appropriation, but do you think that there's more of like a divide in why we go certain different ways in the lengths that we do?
100%, because you can see that if you talk to anybody who's been overseas. I forget who I was just listening to, but they were saying the same exact thing, where over there they will specifically speak about and talk about where they're from nationally, not they're black people, black this, black that. It's, hey, that's my African friend, or that's my, whatever other nations they're talking. But they actually find out what nations they're from instead of just calling them all black. That's an American thing, as far as I know, generally. So come back to Michigan, come back to the hood, come back to Detroit or whatever. First time I've really ever felt like a good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what none of that was. So starting from then, I felt different. I talked white. I code switched. I listened to white music. I dressed white. You know what I mean? So from that point in time, I already felt incredibly different. I felt incredibly down. I felt unaware of who I was supposed to be and where I fit in. I wasn't white, obviously, so I didn't 100% fit in with the white kids, but I tried. Oh, I tried. And I definitely didn't fit in with the black folk because I was too white. You know what I'm saying? I didn't talk or act like them. So if you ask me, if a therapist were to ask me where my deep rooted depression or any of that comes in, typically before ever understanding any of this mental health stuff, I'd be like, I don't know. But if I was to tell them all that, there'd be a hell of a lot of stuff they could probably pick from. You know what I mean? As roots to that. So all that happens, whatever. I go to high school, have a great life. Homecoming king at a white school. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
That's clutch.
You know what I'm saying? Smoke Jones, how you doing, bro? And then I go to the military. So for me, the things I saw in the military are what I contribute to my deepest depressions, my PTSD, my suicidal thoughts, my survivor's guilt. And I'll wait till a little bit later to really bust into the meat and potatoes of actually what was seen. But that's why I did want to put that warning up, so that when we do talk about those things in detail, and feel free to not share anything specific if y'all don't want to about your lives and experiences. Right. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to, but I definitely will, because I feel like everybody, especially black men, should be able to openly talk about what they've gone through and the things that they see in their heads that haunt them, as a way to get it off of their heads and off of their chest, and to be able to heal productively. Right?
I could definitely relate to your journey throughout the being like almost you're too white for like.
Yeah, tell us where you've come from, and what may or may not have contributed to your understandings of mental health, the mental health issues you may, if you have any, maybe going through or whatnot.
Right. So, me personally, Alizu was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and I grew up between New York and Michigan, about between 1 to 8.
Okay.
And then I originally came to Michigan on a basis where I was behind. Like I had to deal with my mom being a heroin addict. My father was a heroin addict. So I was blessed to have a wonderful aunt, something like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to go live with.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's not like a unaverage story for the black kid. Is that okay? Mom and dad can't take care of me, so I'm gonna go with grandma, or I'm gonna go with. And then we got the movies just like Madea, where we talking about the same thing that's in almost every family. So growing up from a young age, I don't know what the difference, if there was a difference in me between other people that I went around, but the communication within my brain to myself is that I know that where I'm going and where I just came from, even at a young age, is something that I never want to go back to.
Right.
And I feel like there's a lot of kids that growing up, even in the age that I'm in, because I was born in 2000, right? In high school, we're talking about, we want to go back to the hood, or it's always that go back to the mentality because of the forefronts of, like, my brother's 32. What did I grow up him listening to? He looked like a straight up hoodlum, and he from the same type of burbs that I'm from, but he lived in a whole totally different lifestyle.
Right.
So me growing up, I always felt like going into school, like I like arts, like I liked playing instruments, I liked acting and singing, and I like sports too, but I always knew that there was a little bit more of a like, okay, I don't really care about being tough, because at the end of the day I knew my priorities was right based on the people that was around me. So it led me into getting bullied a lot. That's
what I was gonna ask at that time, because for me, I think I felt that same pressure, but my pressure was to act and seem like I was with the white crowd. I wasn't too much worried about, because of where we lived at, we got moved to the suburbs, and because of, the people I was around majority white people. So I wasn't worried about looking or acting like the black folk. I just stayed away from those crowds because I knew, I wasn't going to fit in.
I used to have crushes on black girls. Like I never grew up being like, oh, like looking at any type of race, but I knew that like when I was younger, when I liked black girls, like this 4th, 5th grade, you know, you get your first little crush. Like the way my mom used to just dress me to school was just not okay. Like I just remember the JC Penney cargos and like the Converse Chuck Taylors.
Hey,
and
the JC Penney cargo boys was my shit.
That was a fit.
No, but look, if I'm 22 years old and I go into a job interview like that,
with the JCs,
but look, like going in, you don't got no J's on, you don't got no protege. I'm getting roasted.
Now, did you go to a predominantly black school, or did you go to a?
How old are you again?
I'm 22.
That's why.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So in my generation, like growing up, by the age of 10, everybody had Androids. You feel me? We was on Facebook 8, 9 years old, like really watching what our big brothers was doing. So
Facts.
I just like felt like I was behind with the Joneses because my mom's or my auntie, but my mom's is 50, 60 years old. So she raising me on different principles, on a different era, on different timing. I remember being like 5, 6 years old. I'm coming home and my dad got me learning stocks. Like he really making me sit in front of this old computer and watch stock. I don't know what anything's going on. But
that's what's up though.
But little things like that put me ahead. So I went from being like 8, being behind in school, to being like accelerated in school. So then when I got accelerated in school, like that was like almost the downfall of myself because it got to the point where I'm on hockey team, soccer team. I don't care for playing basketball or football. I started rapping a little bit. I'm really I got, you know, everybody got their Pookie and Ray Ray and their family in the back. So they didn't show me what I needed to do. But I'm really in school going. My mom think I'm Carlton Banks going to school, but I'm really starting to go to school. Like, bro, you was bullying me. Like, what's up now? Because now I figured out, like,
because now you got a little bit of the street in you. You figured out
now I got a little bit of street in me. I'm every street person that I'm with respect me because I never lied about being street. Like I never I feel like there's a lot of suburban kids that be like, oh yeah, because this is where I came from.
Because they're trying to put on. They're trying to put on for that persona.
But just as much love as I got a lot taken away from me because a lot of people used me because of that, or a lot of people understood that there was the aspects of I knew that they needed me and I didn't need them.
Facts.
And that their behaviors on their morals and values was just holding me back from my full potential.
So let me ask you this, and I want you to continue with this thought process, but I want to ask you this first because it's easy in hindsight and where you are now to say these things, but is that how you felt then? No. Or what was the struggle you were going through at that point as a young man?
The struggle for me was I felt regular, but I felt like everything around me made me feel like I was just like different, like mad different. Like I just remember like it would be like, okay, all my friends jocks, right? They on the football, basketball team. So I'm fly, I'm crispy always. So they still rock with me. I'm still at their table. But at the end of the day, when I'm telling you, hey, are you gonna come to my choir concert, bro? Because all the girls are gonna be there. Like that's like, bro, that's you know what I'm saying. You're not finna do that. Like, but at the end of the day, the bag that I had like in school was just different. So I always felt like beta. Like I always felt like people were putting me in a position where I felt beta when my masculinity was just me being comfortable in my own skin, and I never understood that. So that made me go psychologically insane growing up, because then going seeing my brother's a basketball football player. You feel me? He with it. I'm not with it. My mama is the only intelligent person on my mama's side of the family. You feel me? So now I'm going through it's me and my mom. My mom is the only one telling me to strive for what I got going on. My friends don't really believe in what I got going on because they really think it's either clownish, foolish, goofy. I'm too white, or I'm putting on a front. But then when I really found my balance is when I felt like I got the most hate, because by the time that happened, I had made a relationship and broke a relationship with so many people because I had saw like the different aspects of myself. Like, bro, this is not me. Why am I switching or why am I switching towards this when really I'm just a universal person?
What age was that, do you think, that you made that switch? And was it a self-awareness thing, or did you have someone to talk to that guided you towards making that personal enlightenment, I guess, and that change in how you felt?
You want to know, honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, right? My Uncle John passed away November 10th, 2018, right? Okay. I got in a little bit of trouble when I was in youth, so I got out of juvenile at a young age. But I had graduated high school when I was extra early. So I graduated high school when I was 16. So I used to just be running around, like just doing whatever.
Free time.
Just free clowning. Like I only got to go to school for one class out the days, whatever.
Right.
You feel me? Way too much time on my hands. I'm calling girls, all types. So when I really found myself, like I found my creative self at the age of 17, where I was like, okay, because I got clowned on for doing this, like I'm gonna take 2-3 years and perfect my craft and come back. But November 11th, 2019, I tried to commit suicide by trying to crash my vehicle, but I was too scared. But I was off of drugs, so somehow I ended up blacking out and being at my ex-girlfriend's house, right? And I remember my mom came and got me, and it was like, it wasn't even like an embarrassing moment. It was just like why do like
felt like you failed? It's not like you couldn't even get that right.
It wasn't even right. Bro, because
isn't it a weird sensation?
Bro,
like
every time I felt like I wanted to self-harm or try to do some shit to myself, it feel like, bro, it would just be like, imagine you just trying to swing at yourself
and you can't do it.
Like you just trying, but
like that sensation you waiting on, it's not coming.
Right, it's not coming. Like I know how other people get it. I done met other people. I done helped other people, and I know, like, for me to feel that way, I always told somebody, and I'm probably wrong for this until I felt like this, but I always used to tell somebody who was suicidal, like, you're a pussy.
It's not, so you can't even necessarily feel wrong for it, because at the end of the day, that thought process is helping them. I mean, you're trying to help them by sort of bullying them into not doing it. Yeah.
Because I used to be like,
but did you know? Okay, so here's what you got to.
If you didn't know yet,
right?
But I did though. In a sense.
Hold on. So this is why I wanted. This is beautiful. This is why I wanted to do this. So, for those of you who may have missed it, because I might not have had the mics on, we have 3 generations of black men in this room today. Zulu is 22. Donovan, I don't even know how old you are. How old are you?
I ain't telling you, man.
But you're in between us.
I'm 33.
Okay, and I am 37 as of next month. So we have 3 very different groups of black men in here with 3 very different upbringings, 3 very different paths of life experience, 3 people who are living 3 separate human experiences. Unfortunately for us 3, the world tends to lump us into the same group. Yeah. Just because we are black men. We black. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, yo, you're a black dude. You're supposed to, especially, you know who does that the worst? Other black dudes.
Other black guys.
You black dude. What's the problem?
Yeah, because my life experiences are gonna be way, like he just said. You had Facebook. See, when I was in high school, Facebook just got popular.
Right.
You couldn't really use Facebook till you got to a computer. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Facebook on the phone was garbage. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
But
like,
as a kid, though,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like how, like, kind of like now how, like, we couldn't get cyberbullying. That wasn't a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but cyberbullying was so real for me, though.
Yeah, that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the big difference between, the age where, like, when I was growing up, I couldn't tell my wife, somebody's bullying me online. First of all, she probably just broke the phone. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the concepts is different. So,
I don't even think that our parents, like, understood. Like, think about it right now. There's 70-year-old people right now raising 10-year-old kids, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How are you going to tell a 10-year-old kid that he can't find what he want to find on the internet right now when there's a 7-year-old watching them and they don't know nothing about the internet?
Yeah.
So they have access to see whatever they want any day.
Yeah, it's the exposure now. And the exposure was different. Like, cause you said you 22?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the exposure when I was 12, you was 2. So, or probably when I was 12, you probably weren't born yet. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like
we was born 89?
Yeah, I was born 89.
So my brother, So my brother was 11. My brother was born in 89.
Okay.
So
right,
he 33 too as well. So he was 11 when I was born.
Okay, yeah, all right. Cause like I know you were saying like the like the failed suicide attempt and stuff like
Right.
that. So like when I was younger, like I lost my fingers in the accident, like an
Okay.
escalator accident. So not only did I have to deal with, because I went to a mixed school, I didn't go to a white school. So I went to a predominantly mixed school, a lot of Mexican kids, a lot of white kids.
Right.
Small black crowd. I don't know, at the time I just really didn't care for like black girls, only because they just wasn't fucking with me. Just to be
That's-
honest,
It was me.
They just
bro.
wasn't-
That's
It
what it
me,
was.
bro.
they just wasn't messing with me, at the time. So I tried to date white girls,
But were you hood though? My question
Was
is,
I hood?
like, was you like growing up?
Were you black enough?
Yeah,
I
was you on that like,
I'm a product of it, but to be like I was hood all the time, I can't say that.
you had your class.
I had to make decisions that forced me to do stuff
right.
because I was a bigger kid. I was getting into fights, or you know what I'm saying.
Right.
People tested me a lot.
It's a matter of
You know what I'm
were
saying?
you carrying
Yeah.
yourself? Were you carrying yourself in that light?
Right.
So yeah, and I went to school on some rough parts of Detroit.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. I was forced, even though I necessarily wasn't from the hood, I was living in the hood. You know what I'm saying. So I was forced to do things as if I was cut from that cloth.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, I was dealing with that, losing, at the time, now mental health is big, but at the time, nobody was teaching mental health.
My question to both of y'all, what I just think about is how is y'all family? Are y'all families big or are y'all families small?
I have a very large family, but I just discovered like a lot of them recently.
My immediate family is very small, and we don't really kick it with a lot of
My immediate
a lot of
family
our other
is
family.
A lot of trauma. A lot of trauma on my end.
Do you think that comes from like an overachiever strain? Like
What do you mean?
Okay, so I feel like the person who raised me came from 5'5", right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one who raised me is the most successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she has like a thing about herself where it's like, I'm gonna help you, but I can only help you from a distance because you're not trying to move like on one accord, like how family should.
That's just an individual
You
thing.
think so?
I
Yeah,
think it's
that's that
yeah,
individual.
because like he got kids, I got kids, and you
Lot of
can't do each one the same. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like I do feel you on that, but like how my mom raised me, she couldn't raise my brother.
Right.
She couldn't raise my brother like that, and it's different because you know what I'm saying. Like for instance, like my little brother gay, and when I was growing up, you couldn't even say gay in a black household.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't be black and say gay in the same.
Not at all. Never.
You could know people that were,
you could know people that
and
was
you
gay.
could be fine with people that were,
Yeah.
but you did never better come in the
Yeah,
household.
it could never come in the crib. You couldn't say like now, like you know what I'm saying, like, and there's nothing wrong with it, but now is certain lingo you can use.
Right.
When I was younger, certainly if we was using this lingo now, I probably got punched in the face.
Facts.
Square business, no explanation. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be seen, not heard, type of John, type of movement. That's how type of tip my parents was on. You know what I'm saying? But so that go a lot into like my PTSD, and a big portion of my PTSD is dealing with like traumatic events that
Right.
happened when I was younger. And one of the events that happened was me like really trying to figure out what I was. And what I mean by that is like I got raped when I was younger.
Mm.
So taking the wrong way out of school, cutting across the park, somebody pulled me down, they did their thing. Not knowing how to feel, but not wanting to tell nobody because the first thing that people say back then, oh, you gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They use it in a a derogatory way where you can't open up about who you are.
No matter what it was that happened to you,
it don't
the
matter.
fact that happened,
That happened. That's all that they heard.
you hit
So-
now.
So I'm 9 years old dealing with that. All I knew was I got to get out this house. I need to run away. I need to feel some type of something. And it was so hard. Like I literally probably just told my mom about this like maybe like 3 years, no, probably not now, like maybe a year and a half ago.
Mm.
And that's only because my therapist that's next door.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like it's real. And I didn't understand like how big mental health was, especially for Black men, and how much we hold in because of the systematic ways we was grown grown up. When you like I'm saying, like you go to certain schools, people felt because of who you was, they could bully.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because I felt how I felt on the inside, I'm like, I was battling my own sexuality in my head. Like, You know what I'm saying? And I
Like,
ain't do nothing
am I
wrong.
now that that's happened?
right.
Am I?
Yeah, you know what I'm
Like,
saying. So
yeah.
it made me feel some type of way about
Right.
myself. But yeah, I tried to take myself out before. Super pissed off. I ain't gonna hold you up. That's why I laughed.
Yeah.
9 years old, wrote my mama a note, did the whole shebang. I mean, I'm talking about took a whole half bottle of Tylenol to the head. I'm 9. I'm like, it ain't gonna be that much. You know what I'm saying? Did the thing, laid down, woke up mad. And I think I was more mad because I had to face the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, I gotta deal with this. Not like my fingers cut off.
And then you're gonna remember that you just
You know what I'm
tried.
saying?
You just tried it,
Mhm.
ain't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm already like, and at that time when I was growing up, but like, I know they got this no bullying tolerance thing now, and it still happened. But like back then, we didn't have cell phones and cameras and
Mhm.
hallway monitors. That bullying shit was real.
Very real.
Like, you know what I'm talking. Like I used to watch kids get pulled into locker rooms and get beat up because they just who they are. They not, you know, they might
Just
not be
different.
They not, yeah, they might not be hood. They might be a little bit more flamboyant, or you know what I'm saying. They might be a little bit more expressing of who they are, and
Right.
people didn't vibe with that back then. You know what I'm saying? And
Like
it's-
anime, like if you was a kid growing up, like
Yeah.
and you like anime.
Oh, anime
like,
is hot now,
it's
though.
hot now,
I was
but
on-
like
I don't know, man. When I was in, everybody was rocking with the DBZ.
no,
We had
that's
Toonamania
one,
back
no,
then.
that's one thing.
There
like,
was
DBZ
some.
and Naruto,
There was
that's
some.
one
It's
thing.
different.
But it's,
Yeah,
I'm talking about
it's a
like
little
if you
different.
just got into it, like say you wore a shirt or
Right.
Like, you
Yeah,
really-
that's
now-
true.
you
Now,
really-
but
you
here,
really
but
just-
hold on
you
though.
get
But hold on though. You'll get roasted as a black kid
Yeah.
wearing that, but as a white kid,
No,
it was
No,
acceptable
it was
and cool.
acceptable.
Right.
And I hated that we was forced to. And unfortunately, I had fell into the culture too because I was never looking to wear Jordans and Nike. I ain't gonna like I ain't grow up off.
You
that
felt
stuff.
forced though.
I did because of the school I went to. I watched kids, bro. I used to watch kids get. It's crazy. You watch people get bullied for not wearing certain stuff
Right.
and looking a certain type of way. But then you watch them get bullied and they take their stuff because they
When
can
they
afford
have it. Right.
And I was always confused on that. Like, you know, so like you said, I had the same situation you had. My grandmother lived in Traverse City. I was at some point I got bigger and I started torching my school. I ain't gonna hold you up. I just started anything that was moving. If I could hit you, I'm hitting. And I did.
So you in turn became the bully.
I did, but I had to
As a defense mechanism.
yeah, because you're not about to keep. For me, it was my fingers gone.
Right.
I got low self-esteem. I don't really know what I'm good at yet.
So that's what I was going to ask as well. So at the point where you got big and became the bully, how often was it? Were you often getting beat up physically by people, or were you just seeing it and
No, I
protecting
was-
yourself against it before it happened?
So what happened was I was getting jumped because I was different, you know.
Right.
His fingers missing. They had all the names. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, they used to talk crazy to me. And then one day, something just snapped in my head. I'm like, bro, I can't do this no more. I had enough.
Yeah.
And I was at Southeastern High School, and somebody said something to me, and I never forget the dude name. His name was Ruel. Was in the 8th grade. He said something to me, and something in my head was like, you can't take these L's. No more.
Knock his block off.
And I took the first thing I could find and just smack dog in the head with it. And after that, anybody that ever slightly said anything to me, like if you think you about to bully me,
Right.
touch me, say anything to me, or my sister went to school, I'm hitting off tip. And I was on that rant for like till I got to 11th grade. And the only reason I stopped is because like somebody was like, I think you'll do great in college. I think that you should like.
I think you should stop beating people up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They was like, you know, you going down a dark path. My mom was at my school so much, and my mom worked midnights. My mom was at, my mom worked. I was at
They
my
thought
school
she
so
worked
much.
at the school.
Yeah, they thought she worked at the school, and I felt bad for putting her through that, but I also never had nobody to help me express what was going on the inside.
Man,
Right.
because it be, you know what, you want to know another thing? It'd be worse when you tell your mom to come up to the school.
Oh,
It just
Yeah.
get worse. It get worse.
For sure.
You tell your mom to come up to the school, and for me, my mom used to be like, "I'm gonna come up to the school one time, right? Now, if this shit happened again, you go tell the teacher." I used to hate that shit. Because
Lucky for me, I ain't never had that experience.
After you don't went and told the teacher,
Uh-huh.
like, I would be getting phone calls from my Uncle John, like, all right. So she done went up to the school. They still don't want to play with you. Come on, Uncle John was like really like my pops. You feel me?
Mhm.
The guy who was married to my auntie at the time. You feel me?
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't my pops. You feel me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but
you
it
got
was there.
yeah, he was there, and he was my uncle. You feel me? But here's the thing, though. Me being smart when I was young, if they get a divorce, who am I going with? I'm going with who my blood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm
Right.
not, I'm not asking too much from him.
Yeah.
As in my mental though, you feel me? Even as a kid,
Yeah.
so I always respect him because for him to get a divorce with my mama and then still be like, bro, I'm still your pops. Like I'm still
That's
about
real,
to,
though.
I'm still finna
That
fly
means you had
out.
a very
Like,
strong positive influence.
Like I'm still finna fly you out. Like I might not get you all the gifts and everything, but I want to fly you out. I want you to still see your fam and have a good time. Like, yeah. But I really feel like the main thing that us as black men that we not facing is the fact that, okay, we can have an issue for the rest of our lives. Everybody got issues for the rest of our lives. I think that people, like, you know how you just admitted, like, throughout what you went through, you had to question yourself because, or you was having these, not saying you question yourself, but you was having questioning thoughts because,
No, I definitely question.
Just question
Right,
yourself.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you question yourself, which makes 100% sense though.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you got put in an
Facts.
experience that you would, like, I'm pretty sure you will. It's like saying this, you will want to become a vegetarian, right? If you went to the place where they slaughter the pigs, right?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
you might feel like, you know what, I might want to step back from this.
You
Right.
need to cut back.
You feel me?
Right.
So
make some type of change.
I feel like me growing up, I like used to, like, you know how you used to snap and cut into people and like beat up people. I used to take mine as spite. Like I used to really be different. Like I really used to overachieve and then make you feel weird because like it would be something that you would never try to go get.
Right.
Like I remember I used to be weird. Like, you want to say
Yeah.
I'm a white boy?
Yeah.
Like I remember the girls and you want to say I'm a white boy?
Yeah.
Now look, I'm about to try out for the hockey team and go date the most blondest blue-eyed girl
Right.
I can find.
that I can
Right.
go find.
Now I'm about to
And then
piss you off for real.
and then I'm gonna piss you off because I'm gonna smile in your face and be like,
And it's the girl you wanted to date.
That's the girl I wanted to date, and not be mean, but be like, and just be like, remember, you don't like me.
Mhm.
You don't like me for my character, but you
See
like what
now,
I became.
okay. So now let's talk about it though. As far as a healthy mind goes, and as far as the mental health conversation goes, that was you going into a deep, dark rabbit hole that probably ended up messing you up even worse mentally at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because anytime you're forced to do anything for the pure reason of making someone else's emotions
Right.
change, you have problems.
I wanted to.
You know what I mean?
It brought me so much adrenaline to know, like, okay, at first I used to hate when people hated me. You feel me? I used to hate it. And then like I started realizing, why you hating me when I'm trying? Because I'm trying. And then I started getting to the point where like I'm gonna do whatever. Because at the end of the day, now I feel like I didn't feel like I had one supporter who like understood like my dream. They were supporting like the aspect of what I had going on. Like I remember my sophomore year, right? I started making music, right? I had made varsity soccer team. I just started playing hockey again, and I was tried out for
I don't mean to cut you off. I'm a little jealous, bro. I wanted to play hockey.
Everybody wanted to play hockey.
I wanted to play hockey a little bit.
If you grew up anywhere near some water
like
that got
skates,
cold,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
bro.
and it's
like,
brutal too.
To be honest, if I didn't have a mother like the mom that I did, because like
Shout out
my
to
mom
moms.
was so smart that she realized that I was always gonna be different because she had to start me off in private school. Like she had to start me off how to learn how to read and accelerate and all that, right? And put me in church with God and stuff like that. So she put me around an environment which knew that it was gonna be a switch. So instead of my mom knowing, and my mom knew I had anger issues when I was young.
Okay.
Like my mom used to say I have eyes like that.
Do you still?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I have silent anger. I'm one of them.
Let me teach you something. So, and I want today to be. Here's what I want to challenge you with today. A lot of young cats, especially young black men, who are as intelligent as you are, and who has done a lot of self search and soul searching and self discovery, will feel like they've already got there, right? And in turn, feeling like you've already gotten there and you've already overcome so much and that you're at where you need to be, you forget that you're still learning and that you're still young. Right. So then the things that you feel like you've gotten over, accomplished, and beat will come back, and you don't know how to handle them that second time around because you've already felt like you already were past that. And I only say that from experience. And I know Donovan could probably attest to the same thing. That
Man.
second fall,
It's that shit. It's
that's
it's
the
worse
one.
than the first one.
That's
But-
the one.
Because at least with the first one, you didn't experience.
Right.
When you go through for me, like I always tell people, like I was homeless, and being homeless the first time, I didn't know nothing else, so I was doing everything that I could. It was only me, so living in my car, working 2 jobs,
Mm-hmm.
going to the gym, the shower. The only thing I could fall in love with was myself and God. Like that's all I had. That's all I could know.
Right.
Facts.
And during that time, what I discovered is the person that you are going to become is the person that you test yourself against.
Facts.
Like, and a lot of people feel like the test is whatever you're facing, but the opposition and adversity is you. Like
Mhm.
you the hump that you have to get over, and I didn't know that. And I'm sitting in my car, and I'm like, probably lapped down like $15. I wasn't upset that I was broke. I was more pissed off that I hadn't learned any financial
that it
literacy.
happened that
Yeah.
way when you
And
thought you had your shit together.
Yeah, and it happened. And the way it happened was so outlandish. I just was like, how did this happen? I didn't have an answer for it. I looked through my bank account 50 times. I still didn't have an answer for it. So like, I really had to like really humble myself. And like, people be like, well, how do you humble yourself? You already homeless. Like, bro, like you gotta buckle down. Like,
And
I
how
really had to
old were
buckle
you
down.
when this was happening?
Man, this was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't too long ago. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like 4 or 5 years
And
ago.
prior to that, you thought you had your shit together,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
you thought
before
you had
then.
already gone through the worst of it. You
Yeah.
thought
That was it.
you were mentally safe, mentally strong.
Here's another thing. So growing up in the burbs, right? Cool, Joe.
Mhm. I've been there.
So we
Definitely, I've been there too.
you're 22 years old, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And your mentor, you feel me? Your big homie,
Mm-hmm.
your OG, right?
Yeah.
You feel me? That's an important presence in your life, because most white men have their dad.
It is
They
the
got-
most important presence.
It's the most
Right.
important
It's the
person.
most important
You know what I'm
presence in your
saying?
life.
It's just like I was just telling my girlfriend the other day, right?
Uh.
Like going to the barbershop with my big brother is probably one of the most important lessons that I ever learned. You feel me?
Now what?
Not
Let's dive into that though. What lessons were you learning?
Yeah.
Okay, not like lessons that I learned. It's the aspect of feeling
Accepted.
accepted by
Mhm.
your temple. Like, you feel me?
Mhm.
Or by it takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? It's like when you go to church, you feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
And you know that feeling when you in church that you gotta hug everybody before you walk up out of here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
like
The barbershop.
The
give you
fact that you
like,
can hug everybody before you
Yeah.
walk out, because everybody does have genuine love for
Right.
you.
right.
The barbershop. I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna agree with you on that. The barbershop is like a black man's temple. Like you can sit.
Huh?
I'm just saying, even bro, even though you got the bald head.
I've never been into the barbershop culture.
Oh, you haven't.
You got to understand, I went to the military when I was 21. First of all,
Oh yeah, you was.
first
getting,
of all,
you was getting
before that, when I was in high school,
Uh-huh.
I used to relax my hair and spike it up with like gel and shit.
Okay.
Oh.
I
You know what
need
I'm
to-
saying?
gotta
I
see a
had,
picture of this.
I'll show you. I had
Yeah,
the
I
white
gotta get a
boy
picture of
fro.
that.
I had the spikies. I
Okay.
used to wear the trucker hats with the bandana with the trucker hat over it with
Okay.
the hair flowing up the
Oh
side.
yeah.
So I
Baseball
was
boy.
never even into the barbershop culture like that.
Okay.
And mainly because I couldn't even go in there and sit there and have the vernacular to speak to the people in the, because they was all hood or Ebonics driven folks. And I was speaking very clearly, crisply, and I knew my swag wouldn't even be accepted
So-
in the barbershop culture.
So
So
look,
I didn't even have that.
I'm in Detroit. My brother's in New York. You're my brother's age. You're 33, right? So my
Yeah.
brother is 11 years older than me, right?
Okay.
So my brother's like almost like mentor age. You feel me? He
Yeah.
not like big brother. Like, okay, we could get into a fight. We like big brother, like brotherly love. Like you gonna hold it down if mom or dad gets in trouble. Like I'm gonna call you, bro,
Yeah.
or anything like that. So the thing is that how many people am I gonna see where I'm at, where I could just be like, hey, bro, like I'm gonna call you if I'm not related to you.
Uh-huh.
If I'm not related to you, how does that work? Like it's hard because I'm 22,
Uh-huh.
and for me to first find my very first black mentor,
Uh-huh.
that's really worth something of the efficiency that's really trying to work with me
Mhm.
where I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm 22 years old, bro.
I got one deeper for you, bro. I'm 33. I just found my mentor.
Mm.
Like literally, like this football season, a coach on my team, older guy. Shout out to Q, older guy. I mean, he come from like a spiritual vernacular background, not super spiritual, but he even pill type of guy. And
Right.
I think as like a young black man that was growing up without a father, I was looking for somebody who was gonna be accepting of me no matter what, and somebody I could share my talents with. Because that's one of the hardest things to do, I felt like as a kid, is to share talents that you know you have with your parent that's so busy. I had one parent with 3 kids. It was so hard to share these extra talents because I got a little brother, I got a little sister. You know what I'm saying? So as a big brother, it was a lot of L's. It was a lot of games. Mama couldn't make it. Like a big part of my issue with my family is because I was the oldest, I was left out to dry a lot. I was left out to dry a lot, but I'm the first one. I'm the first one to get the call though to the line. Like if something happened in my family, I'm getting called first. But if something else happened, I'm the last one to get called. If that makes sense. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, like sound fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Financially, I'm gonna get called first. Point blank, period. But birthday party, some other stuff to do, I'm gonna get put on the back burner. And that's cool. It's just the vernacular how we engage with each other.
Right.
And you know, I'm never mad at it. All our perspectives are different. How my sister sees how I grew up is totally. She think I grew up, I got everything I wanted. I'm like, bro, you tripping.
Facts.
I was wearing old clothes for years, old gym shoes for years. I had to like level.
But no one seems to
you know
notice that because you are the strong one. You're the one that's there for everybody, and people, I guess, feel like you don't need that invitation. You don't need that help. So I feel that same way just because of me going to the military or whatnot. And I think even before that, I've always been the person that exuded this self-confidence and always exuded that I was okay, even in the worst of my times. So I do think a lot of times, and especially because we are black men, we're predisposed to be okay, right? Or figure it out or handle it, right? There's been plenty of times where, you know, you talk to another one of your African-American male friends, maybe younger, maybe older, whoever, or more hood than you or whatever the case may be. Man, you better man up and figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, guys, don't go to somebody and tell them you have suicidal thoughts. Well, you better quit tripping. That's just the devil in your head. You know what I'm saying? Not taking you seriously or not taking you seriously, really. So I know for me, I think a lot of the times that, and I say a lot of the times because my suicidal ideations and attempts were multiple. I think that I can remember in a span of like a year or two, I think I had some form of attempt like 3 or 4 different times. And like you were saying, that feeling of failure because you didn't go through with it, that's called survivor's guilt. And that's something that a lot of people that come back from war in war countries will have. To this day, I still sit here and think, why did 50, I think it was 52, either 52 or 55 people died while I was there, 32 at one time.
And nothing happened to you.
But I made it home.
That's crazy.
No scratching?
That's crazy.
No, the second deployment, no. The first deployment, I came home on a plane.
I feel like that too. Like I got shot in the face and in the shoulder, and I ain't gonna hold you up.
Why me? You know,
like, how I live. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people. Stuff happen like that. You
right.
Know what I'm saying? And it'd be like, and then that's why I be feeling like on the back, I'm like, man, it's something. It must be something else I'm supposed to do because why I'm failing at something that so many people have done,
right? And
then especially now, so many younger people are doing, and I'm like, it's heartbreaking. But then my brain is processing like, I tried the same thing and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there something different about me? Am I supposed to be doing more?
See, but I don't have, like, I don't even have that thought process. I know a lot of people would say, you know, it should be your second lease on life when that doesn't work out. And when you get saved or I've also had my heart stop in the hospital before. And I was like, like I tried to do it myself. Couldn't do it. Yeah. My heart stopped in the hospital. That wasn't even enough. Like, you know what I mean? So it was really hard for me to have that thought process of, oh, well, it must be something better, or because because of the second fall, right?
Yeah.
I'll feel that way. And then I'll try to do my best to, get out there in the world and do these great things or whatever. But then the regular downfalls of the world pop up, right? And then they knock you down. And then, for instance, a year ago, my house burned down.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I just got back into my house not too long ago. So, I'm going to COVID happens, and I was a really incredibly bad alcoholic at the time. I'm talking like a 30 pack and a fifth of Jack a day type alcoholic, right? So, and it's very well documented. 70% of my 100% disability is for PTSD and depression, right? So it was really hard for me to get my head around the fact that I had anything good to give the world. I know I'm a good person. I know I work hard. I know I'm talented. I know all of these things. But that doesn't, I'm like, why does that matter? You know what I mean? What does that matter at the end of the day? I got a wife that loves me. I got a bunch of kids, but I was explaining I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the show Monday, but I was trying to explain to my co-host on Monday, Shay, even as it sits right now, I'm an incredibly happy person, right? I love my life. Like, I got the greatest job in the world. My wife is happy, loves me. My kids, they assholes sometimes, but my kids are all healthy, and for the most part happy. We're back in our home, all occurrences, things are pretty good, right? But it is incredibly hard for me to feel joy. Now, happiness and joy are two very different things. I'm very happy about my life and my standings, and I'm more happy about what I've been able to overcome with these other people, 9 people that look up to me for their protection, their security, their finances, whatever the case may be. So I'm very proud of what I've done. I'm very proud of where I am, and I'm very happy to be where I am. But I don't often feel joy like that, rolling on the floor, stomach hurting because you laughing so hard and just full, your heart is gonna bust open joy. And people think there's something wrong with that. And people would say that's a product of that depression. Yeah, probably for the most part. But here's the sad part about life and about being a black man in America. More than any other demographic, in my opinion, we're told that's an us problem. So if I tell you that I no longer feel joy and that I have a hard time finding joy or feeling joy, they'll be like, well, what's wrong with you? Well, why can't you find that? Well, you need to do some different activities so you can find that joy. As if there's an activity or something that I have not tried in order to find, right. In order to find that joy. It's almost like people don't believe that a black man can get beat down so far that he cannot get back up. You know what I mean?
That's a big stigma in our community amongst each other,
especially people of our stature.
Yeah, and that
big black dudes. We ain't supposed to have emotions at all for the most part.
Like in the media,
what?
We're not allowed to cry and to be sad or to ask for help.
I can tell you,
what's our biggest influence as black men in you right now? Like
hip hop music,
music, music,
and
TV,
sports, right? Media and sports, right? So like every large media sports personnel that's been black. Michael Jordan didn't talk. Michael Jordan didn't even really express no emotion.
That was a different type of animal. If we talking sports,
nah, but look,
are we talking sports or him as a person?
I'm just saying,
right?
Different. As like a iconic thing of what we looking at, right? So me growing up, like, who was the hottest rapper when I was 8, like 10 years old? So when you're like 9, 10, that's when you first start feeling yourself, right? Lil Wayne, Ludacris,
Luda.
Shit.
It was Rick Ross for me.
Ross, yeah.
I was just about to
throw Ross in there. Gucci.
Yeah.
Gucci, like.
Yeah. I'm I know you said you come from New York, stuff like that. So like when I was that age though, like them guys was out, but like I'm listening to hood music. I'm listening to Eastside Cheddar Boys.
Right.
I'm listening to Doughboys Cash Out.
See, I wasn't listening to any of that stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was growing up in the city. Like I was really listening to like city music because like I felt it made me feel connected with the people that was around me,
right?
Type of thing.
blend in.
Yeah, and
Right.
I feel what you were saying, like, you know, the point you was getting to, like, what you were saying, Cujo, especially like with being a bigger man.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear a lot when I was a kid from my mom, especially like, you know, you gotta suck you gotta suck it up.
Pretty much.
You gotta, and I used to think that was okay. Like, even as an adult, I used to be like, because it's sometimes I do self-talk and be like, bro, you gotta get through this. You can't break down. But you're gonna break down at some point. And you need to know, and the problem isn't that you break it down. I don't think that's no problem. The problem is nobody is teaching how to handle it. Nobody is teaching that you're able. Nobody's teaching safe ways to be able to get this off your chest in a safe environment without feeling judged or predisposed to somebody else's illness because of how they were raised.
Right.
And that was probably like, I think, like the biggest thing. I'm gonna tell you something my father said to me. It's gonna be in my head till the day I die, I leave this earth. I was 10 years old. I was starting to get a little bit bigger. And my mom, you a little bit young. So at the time, the only pants you could get was like Husky from Kids R Us. You got your clothes from Kids R Us when Kids R Us was open, and you got pants from Kmart. And once you got out the Huskies, it was straight to adults. There wasn't no in between sizes like it is now.
Right.
And I was trying on shorts, and my dad was like, "Oh, this fat ass motherfucker right here, he ain't gonna never be shit but a bum in the box." And I tell you, that has stuck with me since I was that age. I have never let that left my. I've forgiven it, but it stuck with me in such a way that I'd be like, I'm never gonna be in a box. And when I was homeless, I swear to God, that's all I heard.
That's all you felt like he was in a box.
I felt like I was living in that box. And the reason I say that is because all the stuff that I was going through, he had already went through. So instead of him, but like again, we didn't teach mental health back then. Instead of him cultivating me and embracing me, like, stuff that you going through, I went through this as a kid. I get it. I feel you. Let me help you out. Since he wasn't taught that, I was just getting all the negative attributes. I was getting everything bad that he had to give off. And I didn't know how to deal with it. So all I did was run away, self-harm. I used to try to find other cultures to want to blend in with. And that's why I never dealt with like identity issues, but I always wondered, was I supposed to be born another fucking race? Because
okay, so I just
I don't know.
Okay, so listen.
And the only reason I say that,
like I'm supposed to be black though.
Only reason I say that, and it had nothing to do necessarily with my race. The only reason I said it is because the people around me, for some reason, I could not identify with, and I wasn't being embraced as a young man. And I would watch my sister do the same stuff, and it was, man, it's okay. It's gonna be fine.
See, the hard part for me with that, well, two parts. It's a 2-part display. My sister was very into the culture.
Okay.
So all her friends, even to this day, she'll come home and her and her girls will go to like Floods or something like that.
Okay.
I've never stepped foot in Floods.
It's a good place.
You know what I'm saying? I used to work at, or I almost worked at Nicky's as a bouncer, but I worked there for a couple club gigs as a promoter or whatever, or a host. But I didn't even feel, and this is in 2016. Oh, okay. So I'm fully grown, like, you know, to this day, I could go down to the city and I can go to these clubs and all of that, you know, for sure. Now I'm very self-aware, but still, like, that still ain't even my circle. I still don't even feel fully comfortable in a fully hood environment. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be. So I was just telling somebody a couple days ago, like, when it comes to
sweet potato pie,
right? That's not a good cookout, right? Somebody should have brought the pecan. My babies, my twin boys, are super white with red hair and blue hazel eyes.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I had to show you pictures.
Wait, you telling me you have Caucasian black kids?
Oh, they look Irish.
Was his kids. I thought
they look Irish.
Oh, for real?
Bro,
oh, that's beautiful.
I'll show you pictures.
Good looking.
Beautiful boys.
That's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful. So I was telling somebody that how happy I am at their complexion. And it was confusing to me when I said it because I almost felt bad for saying it as if I was saying something against
It's like
being
art,
black or
though.
black
It's like
people.
art.
But here's the point to it. My babies will never have to deal with the strife that us three have had to deal with just for having black skin.
Yeah, because
They'll never have to deal with it.
Yeah,
Nah,
not as
No.
harshly.
No. No.
Yeah.
They will never have to deal with it. No one will ever look at them
And be like,
and
"I'm black."
immediately judge them for being black.
That's true.
Now, maybe once they know they're black, now if they want to judge them at that point,
Yeah,
whole different story. But they will get the opportunity to show their character before they're ever judged by who they are,
Yeah,
right?
I get what you're saying.
We aren't afforded that, unfortunately. I think more now than maybe before. We are afforded that,
Mhm.
but at the same token, we're not afforded. Whether they say it or not, there's more people on this planet that'll look at you and be like, oh, "Okay, all right, now I got to approach this situation a certain way."
It's crazy you
Until they
said
hear
that.
how you speak, or
Yeah.
they, they're immediately gonna clutch their pearls.
You
You know
just
what I mean?
sparked a memory in my head. So I'll be doing rideshare rides, and I was in the car. I'm trying to pick this guy from the airport. For some reason, my GPS was tripping. You know, when you picking people up from Delta, it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go to the other side. It's weird. So anyway, I had to go around like 3 times. So I picked the dude up. He get in the car. He, he see me. He looking all crazy, white guy. And halfway through the ride, he was like, he just started talking to me, have a basic conversation, like, what do you do for a living, yada yada yada, small talk. And I'm telling him, my background, where I went to college, I graduated, yada yada yada. And he's like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I'm like, "What's interesting?"
That you went to school?
He was like, "Yeah." And he was just like, he was like, "Well, before that, I just thought you was like an asshole that just didn't want to pick me up, like just this big black guy." He was like, "If you didn't tell me that, I probably wouldn't have known that. Like you do, that you do vending machines, and that you went to college,
that you actually have."
And I'm like,
some depth
and that's
to
funny
you.
because the first thing he saw was my skin.
Right.
Not even the fact that I was late for picking you up.
Right.
He saw my skin. Like,
yeah.
What
if
I'm
he was a white cat pulling up, he
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
like, "Oh man, no big problem, no
Yeah,
problem,
no,
bro.
yeah.
Traffic's crazy out
Yeah,
here today, huh?"
Yeah, it's the airport. It's Friday. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, and it's crazy because when you said that, it just popped in my head. Like,
Right.
he
And
def-
so
you know what I'm saying?
I think a big part of our conversation today is the fact that those things are kind of looked at as just what we go through on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
So we're not supposed to use that as reasons to be down because it happens to us all. So why would
crazy.
you be sad about it? What do you mean you're depressed? All of us go through this. The common thing we all probably hear that these days really pisses me off is people got it worse than you got it. It's people that you ain't go through slavery, you ain't have to do sit-ins, you ain't get beat up by the cops because of this. So why you over here complaining? You got it good.
Yeah, and that's crazy that people would even think or say stuff like that because
Happens all the time.
the people, like our ancestors, went through so much in the past.
50, 60 years.
You know what I'm saying? So much. They went through so much so that we could have, like, we free, but we ain't that free.
Mm-hmm.
And, even though,
Because we're
Big
not free-minded.
facts.
yeah,
Like-
but we not free-minded, and it's some other stuff. Well, I'll say that for another. But we not as free as it seems. And I think people back then would have been happy enough to get a small glimpse of what we have today and actually have a little bit more value for it.
They
So,
capitalize off
yeah,
of it.
and it make me mad when people be like, "Oh, it happened so long ago." I'll be like, it happened last week. It happened.
It
last night.
happened today
It
to
happened
somebody
yesterday.
somewhere.
My grandma told me a story. My
Yeah.
grandma
something
told her.
something
Yeah.
happened this morning
Yeah.
with the guy in Atlanta with the 2 deputies. He was
Oh,
standing at the door doing his job, and the 2 deputies just ran up on him and literally took his head and bashed it in the ground.
Oh wow.
And for some reason, he pulled his pistol out. He didn't think that nobody saw him, and he put it at his man's head. And the only reason he put it up is because this lady was recording. And yep, and then he picked his head up like this off the ground and banged it on the concrete.
Jeez.
And the guy got out the hospital today. He had to get his eye removed.
Oh,
So now this
I
black
think I
man
did hear
can't
about
see.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So now,
That's crazy.
but so now look at somebody somewhere is going to tell him,
It's okay.
well, you're alive. So why you Why you worried about it?
That's crazy.
You're fine. Suck it up. You made it through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost an eye, but so what? You can still see. Be glad. Just some people out here can't see at all.
Where the money that he gets is gonna make up for the fact that he doesn't have an eyeball.
That man's gonna go through. That
He-
man's gonna need
The rest of his
therapy.
life. The rest of his life.
Yeah.
So let's talk about therapy for a second before we. What time is it? Okay, we got a little bit of time left. Let's talk about therapy because I feel like therapy, and I know there's only 4% of therapists that are black, which is a very big disparity. I know personally, me being a military guy and then having gone to war, I can't say refuse, but I don't feel comfortable or feel like it's going to be a productive therapy session if I'm talking to someone who hasn't gone to war.
Right.
Okay.
Not only are they not a black man, which is 90% of the issue, let's be real, but they haven't gone to war. So none of my issues you have any experience with. So how can you possibly empathize enough with me to help me in my situation? Right. I think that being the case needs to not be the case. And I'll be the first one to admit that I think I am doing myself a disservice by needing that or wanting that to be the criteria, because I definitely think I could benefit. I think another part of my issue is I have believed in what people said all these years about just tough it out or you can figure it out or do it yourself and all of that. So what I've done is I've studied the world. I've studied sociology just naturally, not really in books or anything like that, but I've taken my time to understand the world and how the brain works enough to where I can help others. And I think I would do great as a therapist. But even therapists need therapists. So
That's true.
I've talked
I feel
to
like every therapist should have a therapist.
absolutely. There was one therapist that I did see who actually helped me out a lot. And there was one thing he told me that I use to this day. He said, when you're like, say you're starting to get an anxiety attack or a panic attack, or you're feeling, you're starting to feel suicidal. He goes, turn it into a mechanical problem and not a mind problem. So instead of being like, oh, I'm so stupid or this, that, and the other thing, or oh, I'm an idiot, I want to kill myself, just be like, okay, your heart rate's rising a little bit, you're starting to breathe kind of heavy. Let's calm this breathing down a little bit and get my heart rate down. Because you think clearer when your body is not in freak out mode.
That is so true.
I've been using it since he told me, and to be completely honest with you, it's the thing that's worked the most for me. Because when you do start having that panic attack or you're having them suicidal thoughts or whatnot, your blood starts to boil, your heart starts to beat real fast, and then you start to make rash decisions and you start to feel like you're about to die anyway. So the second that you stop, take a couple deep breaths, even though it may sound corny, take a couple deep breaths and relax yourself, you realize that you start thinking a little clearer. It stops seeming like the world is crushing in on you a little bit. Not saying it doesn't work for everybody, but I'll tell you what, it sure did work for me.
So it's kind of counterproductive, but you're right, it do work, because when I used to gamble like hysterically, when you gambling and your mind is in a frenzy and you are thinking about making the next buck on the same play,
Man,
it'll force you to make decisions that you wouldn't normally make if you were calm.
Bro.
And I was at the table
You want to
one
talk
day,
about bro?
And I'm at the table one day and I was like, I took a big deep breath and I took like literally 2 plays off and I was like, what am I doing?
Smart.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what am I doing? And at this point, I'm playing like $200 in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I have no business playing $200 in hand
At all.
Like, I got kids.
And that's a part that's a big part of okay. And I will so last 2 years ago I quit drinking.
Okay.
And
that's big.
Honestly, it was mainly because of my mental issues. I understood at that point, I drank a lot to cover up pain, right? So every day of my life, you know how they say scale of 1 to 10, how much pain you're in. Okay, so most people's 10 is my like 4, right? So I think of that scale. I live at about an 8, right? Which is like a 40 to most people. So my 10 is like people would be passed out in the ER, So I live at an 8 constantly. Because I drank so heavy, I always denied getting opioids or any painkillers.
Yeah.
So I drank more to cover up the pain. But it got to a point where I was physically passing out from pain, or I mean, it wasn't even because I was so drunk and sloppy and walking around. I literally was in so much pain and I had so much alcohol in my system that I would physically pass out. So, and this is during COVID too. So during the midst of all that, I was thinking about killing myself like hourly. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, I was like, if the alcohol doesn't kill me, one of these days I'm gonna be drunk and make that bad decision. You know, one of those days, those thoughts are gonna win.
So what helped you get over that? Like,
What helped me
COVID,
quit
like,
drinking?
No, not quit the drinking, but COVID was already rough, and then you talk about, you was having these ideations every hour. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Honestly, I still have them.
Yeah,
frequently.
Yeah.
Like, it's a matter of what you have to do is become stronger at stopping your impulse reflexes, and that's what I realized. So I actually wanted to start a group or start an initiative called 1 Second, because it only takes 1 second to make that bad decision. And that came from a friend of mine who, and this is one of the stories that I wanted to make sure I told, because it is why I think it's why I am stronger than I have been in the past. Friend of mine, I was in the worst time of my life. I was living in Michigan. I had just had a daughter. She was 8 months old, and things were going bad. I was working at a major sports broadcasting company as an audio engineer, making like $45 an hour. I was working at a major radio station, big conglomerate radio station in the city, running like 7 different stations. I was doing great, financially, career-wise. I was doing fantastic, but I was depressed as hell. I was miserable. I always wanted to kill myself. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. Had my kid, and then I got laid off from the audio gig. So
COVID.
No, this was way before that.
Oh, okay.
The company sold and made some cuts, or whatever the case was. I went from working 3 to 4 days a week, which was like $1,000+ a week, to working 1 game a month, which was like $300 a month. So financially, now I can't afford my house. I can't afford my car. The one day I was getting my daughter, like every week or two, I couldn't afford to really feed her. Like everything had fallen apart. Now I moved back to Michigan after something fell apart in LA, right? So I already went through what I thought was going to be the worst of my life, moved back home to be closer to family to get better. And then here we go again, which is, I was talking about the second fall. This was that second fall, right? So there was a night that I just tripped out. My cousin was actually with me, and I was like, listen, you might want to leave. And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, I'm going to be hanging in the backyard on that tree with this rope in about 20 minutes. You might want to leave. Yeah. So him and I started, he's trying to stop me, whatever. He's like, I'm not letting you do that, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get in my vehicle. I'm driving down the freeway going about 100 miles an hour, right? With the thought that it would just happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm driving this fast and I've been drinking. There's no way this is going to happen, right? But I still had it in my mind that I didn't want to hurt anybody else. But you know what I mean? So
you just want to hurt yourself. It's not
right.
Nobody else
just wanted to be me. So then, the night progresses, a bunch of other stuff happens, which if you guys want to know the rest of the story, DM me and I'll tell you. Anyway, that all leads to me deciding I was moving back to California. So I packed my car that next day with as much stuff as I could, and I took off, right? Left everything behind, left both of my jobs behind, no calls, no nothing. I let them know I was leaving, and I'm like, no, 2-week notice, I got to go or I'm out of here, right? So I got to California, and I was living in my vehicle. My homeboy Paul, who I was in the military with, was like, yo, come over, man. I got to, you can sleep here for the night. We got to talk, blah, 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 blah. And I'll never forget, we went outside, smoked a cigarette, and he looked me dead in my face, and he was like, I better never, ever, ever in my life hear you talking about killing yourself again. You're a great person. You're this, you're that. Like, I got your back. I would never want you to do anything like that to hurt yourself, blah, 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 right? We go back inside. Again, we were drinking. And his daughter was there. She was like, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. So she's sitting on the floor, and I'm sitting on the floor with her, and we're talking and giggling and, whatever. So he pulls me aside, and he was like, I don't like the way you're sitting so close to her, and I don't know if you're trying to do something or something. And that shit pissed me off.
He said that to you?
He said that to me.
Came from
yes. Yeah.
That's weird.
that shit, right? That's what I thought. So I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to be my boy. How could you even say some shit like that to me?
Because you had a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was so confused and thrown off and like, really just affected by it. So I slept in my car that night.
Yeah.
And I swore I'd never talk to him again. So I was mad.
Yeah, because
Right?
yeah.
I was heated. So he called and he apologized, and I didn't answer the phone. He left me a message, and then he texted me, and I didn't really text him back. I'm like, oh man, I've been busy, kind of just brushing him off. And he called me one last time and left me a message and was like, I really thought we was cool. I told you I'm very sorry. I didn't mean it. I was drinking, blah blah.
Yeah.
And I still didn't hit him up. I think it was probably a week later. I got a call from his girlfriend, and he had killed himself.
Oh man.
In that apartment.
Oh.
She said she got home. And it was like a murder scene. There was just blood everywhere. And he ended up in the kitchen, I think, and he had slit his wrist. But she said it looked like he was in the tub, did it, and then regretted it, and was running around the house trying to save himself. So I say all that to say, you truly never know, for one, what somebody's going through. Even it really jacked me up because I just kept hearing what he said to me over and over in my head. I'm like, how can he turn around after being the one that really saved me almost, to being the one that did it?
Yeah.
And the really jacked up thought was, I was jealous.
Because he kind of
that was my first emotion. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you pulled it off. When I heard that Robin Williams had killed himself,
that's
still
crazy.
I was jealous. I felt like the jester, the person that made everybody's life better, the person that could always joke and laugh and ha ha ha. Yet I was always hurting. I was always in the depths of despair, and there was nobody that really was taking it seriously. And I had tried all of these times, but was never successful. So once again, I felt like a failure. I didn't think I was here for anything good. I thought I was being punished. I thought me being forced to stay here, I felt like was a punishment.
Because you were seeing everybody else.
Because nothing good was happening.
Nothing good, and you like.
I didn't feel like I was doing any good in the world. I felt like I was a burden to everybody.
Right.
Which is why, in turn, I wanted to leave, but I wasn't being allowed to leave. There's a song I wrote where I say, the button misfunctioned, the curtains won't fall, but the show goes on. It's the same old song. Right? Like, that's how it felt. Do I feel like that now? No. I know I have a purpose. I know I have my beautiful kids. I have my wife. And I have this show and this platform, which I love to be able to do an episode like today, because I feel like this is what I'm here for.
Definitely.
If there's anything I can share to anyone that may help keep them alive, I'm not going to promise you I can make you happy or I can help you find purpose in your life. But if I can keep you alive for one more day, then maybe tomorrow you'll find that purpose.
Definitely. I definitely feel like as Black men, we need more safe spaces and areas like this to conversate with different guys who are different ages. Man, that shit is like putting the puzzle together.
Golly. That's why I was so excited today when we got this opportunity, and I knew I was going to have him coming in. That's why I hit you immediately. And I'm like, dog, tell me you're free tonight. I'm like, because I feel like we have a unique opportunity to talk about something that people don't talk about.
I think globally, across the world right now, like podcasts become a big thing, radio become a big thing. But I think the topic of discussion that everybody wants to focus on is toxic masculinity, misogynistic value, femininity, and relationships. When I really just feel like every relationship comes with its own pieces and factors, and I feel like me, even with myself and my relationship with my girlfriend, like looking at that stuff too much puts me in a position where, oh, I'm a man, you can't talk to me like this, or I feel like this, and I feel like I should be doing this, when that's all based on a notion that not even my mama believe in, because it just is what it is. So I feel like when these things become more to light, or they're seen at a higher volume, I think that more things and more topics and more discussions outside the alpha beta type aspect of men, and more of the things that are development, communication.
I think self-awareness is the biggest thing, and to find self-awareness, you need to be able to go through the journey with outside factors being able to weigh in.
Yeah.
You know, if you're playing Mario, right? Remember back in the day, you try to beat Mario, and you trying to go that one way, right?
That's the only way you can go.
Like I'm gonna make it. I'm definitely gonna make it going this way, and you ain't making it. You ain't making it. You ain't making it. But then your homie figured out that one. You could jump on the mushroom,
gotta
get up
go
to the top, and then you get right.
Yeah.
If you don't got the homie to tell you about jumping on the mushrooms, then you're just going down the same pipe
Yeah.
over and over and over, and you go right back to the start.
Yeah.
So it needs to be normalized that black men, and if we wasn't on the radio, I'd be saying the N-word a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a
That would
difference.
touch people different though.
I feel like there's a
Yeah.
difference between black men and goose.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And it's
And
goose.
I'm trying to get away. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm trying to get away from that because I don't want to self-identify like that no more. And the only reason I'm on that tip is because it's just like
when you do, you get marginalized immediately.
Yeah, you do. You know what I'm saying? You do, and then you don't. I used to date black women. I used to be like, please don't call me that.
Yeah.
Why? I can't call you the B word. Don't call me that. Why not? That to me, that's the same thing. I'm calling you a dog. You calling me a dog. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel you on that, and I feel like the reason why we don't have those formats, black men get together and like do that, especially like young cats, is because the world's so fabricated these days.
Facts.
And they want to put this sleepy blanket over our heads that the only thing that matter right now is like social media, gym shoes, getting a girl with a big butt, and having $1 million in your pocket.
Facts.
And we're not paying attention to, and it's not to take away from nobody else's cause, but we already a minority, and now we're a minority inside of minority because black men with mental health aren't supposed to exist anyway. And
it's not supposed to be a part of our
it's not
makeup.
supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a part of it. And I don't know, wrong, right? I feel like a lot of that stuff do stem back from slavery and the master beating on them, and you're supposed to keep going no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I think the big difference is between like a lot of like beta men and alpha men and all, you know, all that hit is you have this younger generation that's coming up, and they like, I need to be felt. I need to be heard because I'm feeling this type of stuff. Just because you didn't have this outlet doesn't mean that I have to be shunned,
right? To
not be able to get my feelings out, because we grow up in this world where it's like, don't nothing matter. No, people be like, I don't care. I don't give a F no more. That's the thing, you know. But you do care, but you don't have nothing. You don't have a group of mentally sound. And I ain't gonna say even really mentally sound, just some solid other men to sit down and be like, look, bro, this is what's going on. Right. I kind of just want to get this off my chest without looking like a crazy, or y'all gonna call the hospital on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's rough, and unfortunately we are out of time. I didn't realize what time it was.
Yeah, we gotta definitely come back and do this.
Yeah, this is this is something I want us to do. I'll figure out the frequency of it, but I definitely want us to do this at least once a month. So anybody who's been watching this, thank you so much. If you know somebody or you yourself is struggling with suicidal thoughts, make sure you call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, or just talk to somebody, anybody. It doesn't even matter who it is. Talk to somebody. This goes for everybody, all races, all creeds, all colors. But specifically today for black men out there, you are not too strong to get help. You're not. It doesn't take away from your gangster to get help. And furthermore, we need you. So reach out and get the help y'all need. If there's one last thing you want to tell everybody, what would that be, Sir Zulu?
Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Atlas Zulu. Make sure you follow me on YouTube at Quake Station. I shoot cool music videos and cool little vibes, man.
I'll let your boy, and thank you for being here today. I appreciate you, sir, Mr. Outside.
First, follow me on Instagram, King Inspiration X, and man, check out the new radio show, We Outside.
We Outside.
Show. Check that out. And one last thing I want to leave is it's okay to be hurt. And it's okay to seek help, and don't feel like because you're going through so much as a man that you're not allowed to have a vulnerable moment. And that word is so strong because we are attached with being strong.
Facts. Big facts all around. Today was a good day. I think we've done some good things for the culture. I think we've done some good things for men. We've talked about some things that don't get talked about. I appreciate you both for being here.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate everyone for listening. I love you all. And now I'm going to let y'all wind down and get some light in your life. Talking to Miss Diamond for Fashion Friday. I am Cujo Speaks. Make sure y'all keep tapped in for Diamond, and we will see y'all folks on Monday.
What is up, everybody? I am your girl, the Princess of All, and we are here on this amazing Friday with the lovely, the one, the only Diamond.
Hello. Thank you for that intro. Yes.
They're gonna make it all elaborate, okay, y'all? Listen, it is Fashion Friday, and she's here to do what? Boom, style it. I think it's that way. Boom.
Yes.
On the screen, you guys see it. You know what today is. It's Fashion Friday. How have you been, Miss Diamond?
I've been great. I've been busy traveling, but I'm glad to be home. How have you been?
It's good. And same. Well, I haven't been traveling, but I've been home and just busy trying to fight off this like crazy weather cold thing that's been going around. I know. My kids make sure they keep some kind of germ floating around in school. They do. They
love
do. But it's this crazy weather. One day it's like snowing, one day it's like 70, one day it's like raining. It's like, can we just get some like
Can we just pick something? Yeah.
Can we get consistency? But even with the seasons changing, we are here so that we can learn how to look good. Because when you look good, you feel good. So Miss Diamond is here to help us get our styles intact, y'all. Okay, she's here to teach us what to do and what not to do. So, without further ado, we are going to get into style number.
Yes. So today I wanted to talk about fall trends that I'm loving for both men and women and showing you guys a little something on how you can style them, either dress things up or dress them down. So this first trend that I'm loving for both men and women are loafers. So for the loafers, you can really dress them out. You can wear them or dress them down. Like literally in this photo, you can see the girl has on loafers and she's wearing them with leggings, but she's balancing it out with a blazer. And then the guy is doing the same thing. He has on some loafers and he has on what looks like some more casual type pants, slightly dressy pants. I don't know. I love those kind of pants that look dressy, but also kind of casual. And then he has on a nice little shacket over top, which we're going to talk about more later, to really bring it back down. So like there's a way to wear loafers. You don't just have to wear them to work. You can also wear loafers in very casual manners. And I love my loafers. So that's the first one.
I was going to say, so loafers are definitely something that I feel you have to get comfortable with wearing. But once you're comfortable with wearing them, like you said, they can go with anything.
They can.
I hadn't seen loafers in a really long time, and then they just started back hitting the scene, and I was like,
Yeah.
Some of them with the big old buckle, some of them with not the buckle, some of them with the shoestring, and all kinds of different styles. So loafers, I definitely say it's like that in between. You can be casual, but you can be dressy, and you can be comfy. So I definitely agree.
All in one.
Boom. Okay, so loafers, and then we have.
Next one we have literally just perfect timing. The shackets, flannels, over jackets, over shirts. I'm loving those for both men and women. And I chose these two ones because you can see for the woman, she's wearing a very long shacket. So you can find a shacket that can be super long and dress it up and wear it over a dress, right? Or when you have a more cropped shacket, you can just wear that with a more casual outfit, like he's wearing his with sweatpants. But because he's wearing this very nice, one thing I'm going to say, if you guys want to know how to dress up something casual, like even just your sweatpants, wear it in a cream or a white or a beige. That color automatically just looks like elevation. So even though he's literally wearing sweatpants, because he's wearing cream and beige, it just looks elevated. So I'm loving the shackets, the flannels, the overcoats. They're very nice for fall and winter. And just like everything, dress it up or dress it down.
Now, I've never thought or even thought to mention like that the colors can make a difference on if it's dressy or not.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, had he worn black, it probably would have looked a little dressed down.
Yeah.
And the white just automatically makes it like a
It just brings it up.
thing. So that's a good footnote. That's a
It
good
is. It's because this is what somebody told me. They were like, I love to wear the last 2 years I've been wearing like cream coats, winter coats. And they're like, I mean, you wear a cream winter coat, like doesn't it get dirty? You know what I mean? Like, aren't you worried about it getting messed up? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just something about when you wear whites and creams and beiges that like just because it's like it's something that if it gets dirty, you have to take care of. It's just something you have to take more care of. So in people's minds, they think like, oh, they look fresh and crisp in this light color, even especially when you're wearing it in the winter, because it's like it's risky.
That is true. That's why that what is it? That whole slogan is like, oh, you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I do it.
I love me some white, but like you said, white
too.
Like that high maintenance that you have to take care of.
Yeah.
White shoe, a white jacket, white pants.
Yeah.
Definitely something that you have to be very, very aware of when you're wearing.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So the shackets, I love me a good peacoat. So those
Ooh, yes.
are like my favorite because maybe when I was younger, I didn't care so much for them, but now that I'm older, it's like I like to be comfy and cute, but my butt gets cold. Okay.
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 Something longer.
I want it covered. I need something that's gonna ensure me that I am going to stay warm in these crazy weather conditions. And it depends on what coast you're on, because I know some people are like, what's a coast? Okay.
Right. What's that?
But us East Coast people, you know, the New York and the Michigan,
It's cold here.
it's cold around these areas. But
Really?
jackets definitely are awesome. And I love how she has it layered with sweater and the jacket. Like it definitely gives it like a pop of quality.
Yeah.
Good choice. Okay. All right. Next fab look.
So next we have the next thing I'm loving is denim on denim. Denim. So especially for the guys, I'm liking the dark denim outfits. But I mean, you can do light denim or dark denim, and you can mix like this woman is here. She has on a slightly lighter denim with a slightly darker denim pants. What I would say about this, if you're not sure about the denim, whether there's going to match, it's just something you have to try on and find out. Fashion style, it's very playful and fun. You have to just try things on to see if it works. So you may already have some denim pieces and you just have to try them on to see if you got the right denim, or you're like, I need a slightly darker denim or I need a lighter denim. And sometimes the fit of the denim as well, because you see she has on a slightly fitted denim top that looks a bit lighter, but her pants look a bit heavier and darker and they're wider at the bottom. So it's balancing it out because they're not the same color. So you have to find a balance. It's just something you have to play with. And if it looks good in your eye, then you're fine.
I was gonna say, I love me a wide leg pant.
Yes.
Stood up right now. I'm wearing a wide leg pant denim jeans.
Come on.
But the denim on denim, like you said, it's definitely something that you have to try on. And I have to call you my friend because this has been something that like has always kind of frightened me. Denim on denim. And it's becoming so popular right now.
It is.
And, you know, back in the day, it was like if everything's not matchy, you don't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And like people are mix matching the denim, even like the jacket or the crop jackets with a different color. And I'm all I don't know if I should do that or not.
That's me too. I like literally whenever I do play with the denim on denim, I'm like, okay, we got to try this on. We're going to have to grab every denim piece I own and see what we got. I'm also loving like the denim tank tops, the denim corsets. That also can help if you're not sure if all your denims are going to match, because now if you add a third denim underneath, right, you can play with more different variations of the shades of your denim. So that's another way you can make it balance out a bit better too.
I do like the like if you're gonna do like a wide pant leg like she's doing, I do like how she kind of has it kind of fitted a little
Mhm.
the fitted denim shirt if you're gonna do
Yeah,
wider leg or of some sort like that because it just gives it more of a pop.
it does.
Baggy on top of baggy.
Yeah, unless you're into that. But if you wanted something balanced, like you never want to wear too much baggy or too much tight. That's just a general fashion rule in general for me. Unless you're into all tight or all baggy, like then that's fine. But if you want to find that balance and play to your proportions, you want to make sure that you got something that's a little bit baggy and something that's a little bit tighter in your outfit. It just
And for men, I don't really think it matters. I
no,
think they have it easy when it comes to
they
denim.
can.
On like a denim pair of jeans and a jacket and like be gone.
They're
Nothing
done.
to worry about. It's more so the women, it's the women.
It's the women. It's always us,
All right. What's up next?
Okay, next we have bomber jackets. I am loving bomber jackets for fall. In this one I showed a guy wearing a tighter suede bomber jacket. I know a lot of guys already have bomber jackets, but if you're looking for a more elevated bomber jacket, think about getting something that's suede or getting a leather bomber jacket. The material, that's how you can elevate your bomber jacket if you already have one, or if you just you want something more elevated, and you'd be able to dress this bomber jacket up or down. And then for the woman, I'm showing her in a more casual, oversized nylon bomber jacket, but you see she's wearing them with heels here, with a little kitten heel to still bring that balance. I'm all about balance in the outfit. That's what you guys will learn about me. But you can definitely do a bomber jacket, something more casual, or a more elevated bomber jacket depending on the material.
Now, I want to pick your brain just in a price range of you say a fair price for a bomber jacket would be.
Yeah. That the fair question, it's like I would say just depends what you normally spend on your clothes in general. But I think if you want a bomber jacket that's gonna last you more than a season or two, then maybe $100. If you're, just getting into it, you on a budget or something, then you can get a good bomber jacket for $50. Like this suede one here, I think Banana Republic has one for like $80 for men. So
and that's kind of where I'm getting at. And this bomber just did like a PTSD moment in my mind. I don't know. But so a lot of these companies and boutiques are like charging almost, I want to say like $200 for a bomber jacket. It's nothing wrong with investing into, your clothing. But if I'm going to, like you said, it has to be like great material. The stitching has to be awesome. It cannot be something that if I take it to the cleaners or if I wash it at home, the stitches are coming out. Like, I think people really need to be careful when they're doing those things and spending that money, because you would think that, if I pay $200, it's a good bomber jacket, but you really have to look at the material and the quality if you're really going to invest into these type of jackets.
Yeah. And if you're like, I don't know what quality is, I don't know if I trust this boutique, I would say just start by trying to go to more department stores, higher end department stores, to kind of start seeing what quality looks like, what it feels like. And then you'll start to get more familiar, and you'll just be able to see, you know what I mean? Whether something is more of the quality that you're looking for. And also sometimes we learn our lessons. Like there's a few brands where I bought pieces and it didn't last a season. And I was like, okay, I'm not coming back to you guys for, you know what I mean? Sometimes there's a learning curve, but you have to start investing in more expensive pieces to start learning what quality actually looks like for your clothing.
And I think that's such the hard part with shopping online now.
It is.
Back in the day, you can go into the store, you can try it on, you can see, you can see the quality, you can actually feel it and see how it feels on your skin. And all we're able to do is just kind of go off of a picture and post it on their, website or their social media. And we have to just kind of trust what they're saying or trust that description of what they wrote down there. And trust goes a long way. So I would say, like you said, going into these department stores and still kind of getting that understanding of what a good one feels like. They have some of them that are like rainproof.
Yeah, you can get all of that. And also, not just because I create fashion content, but like go on these social media platforms and look up these boutiques and brands that you want to buy from and see, just type on like, I don't know, Princess Polly try on and see what people are seeing on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. What are their experiences with this brand? And you'll find out, honestly, especially if you go on YouTube, you get a nice detailed review of the quality of these brands. If it's a boutique or place that you've never heard of and you want to know if it's going to be worth it.
That is very, very true. I definitely say read the reviews.
That's me every time. I'm like, I've never heard of this brand. Let me go see what they're about.
Yeah, because even with those the jackets, like the material, you have to be careful because sometimes the material can be like very itchy and not flattering. So you really want to make sure you're reading the reviews, you're reading the description on the material that's used in designing and all that kind of stuff. It makes a big difference.
It does.
It really difference because you can look like one of those TikTok models.
Okay.
If you don't buy the right material,
you will be disappointed.
The picture's gonna tell it. Okay. All right. So the next one would be
next one.
Jackets.
Yes. Are you loving them too?
I love me a good varsity jacket.
They're so great. I'm loving the varsity jacket. So I tried to show two contrasting stylings of this. So this guy is wearing this varsity jacket, but you can see he has on this nice dressy outfit underneath. Like there's a way to dress up your varsity jacket. And then I'm showing the woman and she's wearing her varsity jacket in a more casual way. And also for the ladies, I'm also loving like the crop. There's the crop varsity jackets as well. I'm thinking about getting a cropped one myself.
I have seen those.
Yes, but varsity jackets, I love them. They're coming back around. They're gonna be around for a few years, so start looking for one. And these are gonna get pricey probably. I mean, you got your cheaper ones that are on the market, of course, but if you want a really good varsity jacket, you probably are gonna pay a nice little penny for it.
I can see the varsity jackets costing a little bit more because even being in high school, even though ago, but our varsity jackets were always costly. You know what I'm saying? They were heavy duty. They were high quality. I mean,
they were
blue toned.
The leather, yeah. I still have my varsity jacket. I put it on sometimes. I don't really go nowhere in it because I'm like ashamed, but like I still have my varsity jacket hanging up in the closet.
Oh, they are awesome. And like you said, you can always dress them up, dress them down with a gym shoe, a heel, it just being comfy. Or I've been seeing some women even just use it as like a picture prop and just kind of
throw it over their shoulder, wear it on their shoulders.
But I definitely love a good varsity jacket.
Me too. They're cute.
Okay,
Okay, next, I'm loving cargo pants for both my men and women. So the cargo pants, there's no limits to this at this point. I showed two more dressy approaches to the cargo pants because I feel like we've seen the casual, super baggy cargo pants, but I just got some cargo pants from Banana Republic, and they're a bit more fitted and sleek and chic, like the ones that the woman is wearing. And the guy here is also wearing some cargos that are just a bit more tailored than just oversized baggy. But whatever kind of cargo pants you like that fit with your style, like I'm just here to show you guys that there is a range of every single style or trends that are out here that can fit into your specific kind of wardrobe and your style.
That is very true. I have a pair of Army Fatigue cargo pants.
Oh,
absolutely love them. I do want to get me more, but for men, it's such a clean and crisp look.
It is.
I guess they can say like cargo. Will cargo and Dickies be like the same brim?
They're close. They're close enough. I feel like just cargos just have pockets, but that's just me.
And that's what I'm thinking. But those kind of pants for men have always been like a really good go-to clean look as far as like is that casual, being able to dress it up, dress it down. I know we talked about before on your first, when you first came on, creating like a uniform, like
Yeah.
to have like a diversity of, okay, I can wear this with this, or I can wear it
Yeah.
with that. Having that flexibility in your closet, all of these items that you listed today gives you that flexibility to where you
It
can
does.
a little bit of both. Because sometimes, and I've fallen guilty to this, you go shopping and like you're only in like dress up mode, right? When you go,
Yeah.
then when you want to go out somewhere, you're like, I only bought a whole bunch of dress stuff. What am I gonna wear? So
What am I gonna wear?
so being able to, shop for both and have that crossover, it gives you that room of, okay, I can dress up with this or I can dress down.
Mhm.
I definitely love me a good cargo pants.
Me too. They're so versatile. I have a few different styles, a few different pairs. I even have an organza pair of cargos. Like it's just there's no limits. Like no limits.
I'm gonna try those out.
Okay, yes, they're so cute. Okay, so next, these last three are just for the ladies. Okay, I mean, so this is platforms. Platforms are very, very on trend this fall. You're gonna see platforms in all variations. I'm just showing the boot because it's fall, okay, and it's a little bit breezy where I'm at. But like platform heels, sandals, platform, even the loafers. You're seeing those very thick-soled shoes right now in every variation, every kind of shoe that people are wearing. You're seeing the platforms. So I'm loving the platforms. These ones are a little high, but there's also some platforms that are a little bit lower too that you can find if if you don't want something super high. But I love platforms right now.
I definitely love a good platform gym shoe.
Yes.
That phase of like I want to wear a heel, but I want to be comfy.
Yeah.
Platform gym shoe and the boot. I actually think the platform heels are a lot more comfortable and easier to walk in than like the stilettos.
They are. I agree. The thicker the better. I'm like, give me all of this surface area.
Extra cushion so my feet
All
go.
of this.
Okay.
And then
It means a lot.
yes, so metallic. And I'm just showing you guys the boots because I love these metallic boots, but metallic everything. I'm talking metallic dresses, metallic purses, metallic skirts, metallic shoes, metallic pants, metallic everything metallic is super on trend this fall. I'm especially loving the metallic shoes because that's just a super easy one to incorporate, right? You could be wearing literally anything and you just slap on the metallic boots. Hello, fall trends. We're hitting, we're there, So that's why I picked the boots, but metallic, everything.
Okay, metallic.
Yes. And then, oh yeah, and then the last one I got here is a metallic dress, just to show you guys what it's looking like, what it's giving for fall. Just metallic dresses are super cute. There's long ones, there's short ones. I really like this one with the wrap in the front, but just metallic everything, especially these metallic dresses. You're going to be seeing a lot of them, especially when we get into the more holiday season. You know what I mean? That's usually a popular time for glitter and shimmer anyway. But I think we're gonna see a lot more metallic instead of just like shimmer this winter and fall.
Definitely giving me like New Year's party vibes.
Yeah.
Like I love me a good shimmer sheer.
Me too.
I also love the metallic look because I'm a silver girl. I love
yes.
silver jewelry, like everything.
You're a silver girl.
The gold yet.
Really?
Gold just makes me feel old. I know. And maybe it's because I grew up in a house where like literally everybody wore gold. Like everything
was gold.
like my grandma and like all of my grandpa's parents' things back then was gold. So I'm like I like the sparkly of the silver.
Okay, that's fair.
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel. Just you had to switch it up, be different. You do look good in silver though. Like it looks good on you.
It's so easy for me. It's just so easy to go to.
Yeah.
And everybody has their thing. Like you look good in gold. My sister loves gold and she looks good in gold. And me, I'm like, it's something for everyone, right?
It is.
Okay, so to kind of recap of all of the looks that we've done today. So nope, this is gold shimmer.
Right.
Then we're gonna do metallic shoe.
Yes.
Platform, if you guys are out there. Cargo pants. Middle.
Yeah.
Dressing down.
Okay.
Varsity jacket. You can clearly dress it up, dress it down, make it sexy, make it funky. Bomber jacket. Men and women. Choose your material wisely for your occasion. Then we also have denim on denim. Ask a friend before you leave the house for very.
Okay, yes, I love that.
Ask a friend. We have the what are the shacket,
Jackets, flannels.
flannel, the whole sweater look.
Yes.
Wear wisely, white and cream can automatically
Mhm.
make you look more than it seems. Ooh, I like. And then loafers.
Yes.
Get you a good pair of loafers for men and women. Boom.
Boom.
Such a great recap.
Yes, it was. Okay, listen, you.
I mean, but it wouldn't be a good recap without these great tips. So every week, guys, if you guys have questions or there's a material or a style you're not too sure of or you have questions on, make sure you guys send them to us or you can send them to Diamond directly for her to come on, give you guys some visuals, show you how you guys can put some things together. You can mesh it or how you can spruce it up, take something from your closet and change it and give it a different look or a different, perspective. Go ahead and give all of your social media, website, everything so people can stay up to date and stay in contact with you.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for listening to my Fashion Friday today. You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, all of that at Your Coiliness, YOURCOILYNESS, and as well as yourcoiliness.com and Your Coiliness on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. I had a good time with you guys. Happy Friday.
Yes. And so I did see this on your page, and I wanted to reiterate it for anybody that is searching you. You did say that someone created a fake page, right? So
Yeah. Someone did create a fake page, but my lawyer took care of it. It's been handled. They just added an extra S at the end. So instead of 2 S's, they added a third one. So
okay.
it's been taken down. It's been handled. Okay. We had to go to Instagram. That's the right one down there. Check it out and send me any questions. The DMs are always open. I'm always down to chat. It's a good time. So
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, guys. Again, make sure you guys tune in. She's here every other Friday with us, bringing us fashion tips. But like we always tell you guys, it's been fun. It's been true. It's been so real. Make sure you guys keep it tuned in because DJ Sane will be coming up next on the Good Time Show. So, don't touch it out, y'all. We'll be right back.
bye, guys.